Myrie of the JPP picked up 20, and Joseph Patterson of the UIC picked up 11 votes.
This is a long-standing PNP seat. This is really just a rebalancing of everything with the anomaly of 2020. This is Curran Spencer, Raymond Price, and then Evan Redmond. This used to be a very strong PNP seat, so no surprises there.
I would say though that I think one of the things we have seen is, I mean, the rebalancing you're speaking of, sure, but at the same time also an indication that the voters can't be taken for granted. Look at Northern Trelawney, for instance, where we're seeing this, has it been declared yet? Okay, Tova Hamilton, 8,062 votes, Wickham McNeil of the PNP, 7,788. So I take your point, Emily, but I also think that we are seeing a new generation of voters, and that seats that previously had been thought safe. I mean, Central Kingston is not going to be in anybody's safe column going forward. Declared now for Tova Hamilton, so Wickham McNeil, having traveled across Western Jamaica, wasn't successful in terms of getting back into Gordon House via Trelawney Northern. And again, this was a PNP. This my point exactly.
This is a big victory for the Labour Party.
Big victory there, I agree.
Tova Hamilton, she won in 2020, and she's back. She's going back to Parliament, hard-working member of Parliament. I'm very happy for her, just as I'm happy for Rhoda Crawford and many other persons.
Okay, we in fact have Nakinsky Robinson, who is in Trelawney Northern. Let's go to her.
I'm now at the Trelawney Multipurpose Stadium in Falmouth, where the counting has been concluded for the Trelawney Northern constituency. And the word that I'm getting from the election officials is that the seat was successfully retained by the incumbent member of Parliament who was seeking a second term as MP, Tova Hamilton. Now, she is the first female member of Parliament for Trelawney Northern, and she has successfully done so tonight from what we've heard. She was going up against the People's National Party representative, Dr. Wickham McNeil, who is the political juggernaut, who's not new to the scene at all, and so he was seeking redemption because he was unseated when he served as member of Parliament for Western Westmoreland in the 2020 general election. We saw very frantic and chaotic scenes here tonight, where even one of the Jamaica Labour Party supporters, in the height of their excitement and partying, she passed out and she was rushed to seek medical attention. We've not gotten any word as to her state right now, but we're hoping that she is recovering well. But now the place has been emptied out. The lot is really and truly emptying out right now. As you can see behind me, there's a huge Jamaica Urban Transit Company bus, and just before we started this video, we saw very long lines of traffic emptying out the lot, heading back onto the main road. So the polls have closed, the counting has ended, and it seemed to have been Ms. Tova Hamilton from the Jamaica Labour Party who was first past the post tonight.
I think we were talking about the seat, and as I was saying, I think this exactly makes my point. The parties can no longer afford to be complacent and think of seats as, safe PNP or safe JLP seats. And I think that's actually great for the country, great for the constituencies themselves, and overall, as I've been saying, great for democracy.
Yes, I agree.
Quite a few of the young women from the JLP who won in 2020 have been returned in 2025. Right.
For Hamilton, Rhoda May Crawford,
Crystal Lee.
Okay, here is Juliet Holness's seat now. St. Andrew East Rural, 130 of 137 boxes declared for Juliet Holness. So the former speaker goes on to her seat.
Yes.
If we can spend a moment and try and figure out what is happening in West Central St. Andrew, when it comes up on the screen, I want to see what is going on with the Prime Minister.
Well, I mean, the numbers hadn't moved, so.
Right, but when we get our update, it will move in favor of the Labour Party.
The numbers,
right, so the same.
It's the same, that's what I'm saying. It's been the last 2 or 3 times it's come up, it's been the same. So I suspect the next time we see it, it will probably be completed.
Yes.
I know a lot of the time, well, I get nothing. I know a lot of the time,
That
the
is
people
why-
who are
that is-
watching the counting,
And that is why I'm saying when it's changed the next time, you'll see party leader Dr. Andrew Holness.
What we have here is that Northeastern, or what my side is saying that Southeastern St. Mary has been called for for Christopher Brown.
Yeah.
no,
So-
sorry, you just got yourself in a little bit of trouble there with your party people. There.
Well,
So,
right now,
Yeah.
Dr. Dunn is leading. Right? So,
but he hasn't changed from where it was before.
Right, so there's only one box left there. And so you're saying
you're
that,
saying it's been called
We're saying
that one box has given him,
That's what I'm getting.
yeah.
That's my understanding as well. By 12, I understand
Another
Norman
one
Dunn
going
has
to
one.
magisterial.
on a magisterial recount.
Yes. But we will see.
So whose column was that in for anybody?
That was a must take for the PNP in my column. They needed to take back Southeast St. Mary. And they have, but again, I said, based on my count, it's still coming up a little short because of, the other areas that have not come fully. Yeah? So,
That's one of those cases, if indeed that win is confirmed, in which the PNP finally managed to take back a seat that has been with the JLP now for several terms.
true. True. And they've taken as well the Southeast St. Catherine with Dr. Alfred Dawes. That is also a big win. Robert Miller losing there, I think we already showed that. But again, when they did manage to wrestle Central Manchester from Modamoy, that's a big, really big win or hold for the Jamaica Labour Party. So you do take one there, but then you don't take the other, and the numbers just don't add up. Yeah. Marlene Malahoo Fort as well in West Central St. James. I think they were hoping to take that one.
Yes.
You may come up just a little short with that one, even though it's not yet officially completed in terms of counting, but we shall see.
Okay, let's just since you mentioned that, this is the latest we have from West Central St. James, 82 boxes of 106. The JLP's Marlene Malahoo Fort with 4,788. The JLP's Andre Horton, 4,192. Clifford Barnett, 15 votes. We'll go to a break. We're back with our live election show in just a moment.
Every generation brings new hopes and ambitions. For 55 years, Sagicor has been helping Jamaicans to realize their dreams. As we celebrate our past, we look forward to continuing that legacy of trust, providing support and financial solutions for the next generation to succeed. Sagicor, building trust, one generation at a time.
When you want the ocean and make the rice well, just give me the kettle. Anytime of the day, night as well, just give me the kettle. Everybody can tell this good green smell, just give me the kettle. No money in paper, no parallel, hard quality, you know we excel. When it comes KENDEL, give me the kettle.
Another quality product from the Carimed Group.
Just give me the kettle.
Summer is here. Protect your eyes. Perfect your look with AB Vision Eye Care Sizzling Summer Lens Sale. Get 50% off all lenses with the purchase of any frame and 50% off all designer sunglasses. Civil servants, extra 5% off. All students get your single vision clear lens free. Yes, free. Our lens sale is bringing the heat. Visit us in the Springs, Kingston or 9 King Street, Linstead. Hot frames and even hotter deals. Only at AB Vision Eye Care. Conditions apply.
You put a bubble, my friend, in a smell like expensive dinner.
Expensive what? Me have to give my family the best. And Nation Slice always give me the best value for my money. Top quality meat, frozen veg, seafood, processed meats at affordable prices. Them have sliced fish, shrimp, beef, jerk, and bacon burger.
And then me here say import and supply meat in every nook and cranny of Jamaica.
Yes, my friend, you can get salt mackerel, pigtail, and sliced ham.
Nation's choice, always your best value.
Get set to take on the world. Get trained for your occupation. Art and STA. Learning is key to our growth. Building a skilled population. Art and STA. Step up your life with a skills upgrade. Time come to you learn a trade. Learn a skill, better job, better pay. With Art and STA. Be smart. Go for your dream. Choose Art and STA. Be smart.
Hey, Truck, how those Duracell Optimum batteries working out? Whoa, now that is serious power. Try Duracell Optimum, our next generation of power.
Another quality product from the Caramel Group Consumer Division.
Look at me. Here.
On its course. Idiot defense. That man now play like some plastic Jamaica. Miss.
Hey, lover boy.
Let's get it on.
Strong back gets you in the game.
Yep, and it keeps you scoring. It's for real, man. Strong back.
Strong Back is available at your favorite supermarkets and the gas stations island-wide. Distributed by Facey Commodity Limited. Call them at 923-9221.
Strong back.
Thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching TVJ's live coverage of the 2025 general elections in Jamaica. So let's just take a moment and bring you up to date with everything that's been going on. I'm your host, Deon Jackson Miller, and with me, Earl Moxham and Emily Shields from the RGR Gleaner Communications Group. Also with us, we have Ron Walsh. He is from Young Jamaica, an affiliate of the Jamaica Labour Party. Clifford James with us as well, from the PNP-YO, the youth arm of the People's National Party. Jamaica's parliament has 63 seats. Now, in the last election, 2020, the Jamaica Labour Party had won with a landslide, relegating the PNP to only 14 seats. So in this election, which party would get 32 seats first and would therefore form the government? And the last count we had got from our reporter, who is at the electoral office tracking, was 34 seats for the, here we go with the national count. Now, I think these are the declared seats, the completed seats, if I'm correct. 29 for the P and 28 for the PNP. The last count we had got, of how all the seats were trending, was that the Jamaica Labour Party was leading. We had been told in 34 seats, and the PNP leading in 29. So there are a few critical seats that we have still been watching. And here we have St. Mary's South East. And the PNP's Christopher Brown has taken this with 6,642. He has defeated the incumbent Jamaica Labour Party's Norman Dunn, 6,631. And that is an 11-vote difference. Got it right that time.
We'll pause on that because
Just one second. Mark Hutchinson of the JPP polled 26 votes.
I'm almost sure this is the second time for an 11 vote win in St. Mary, Southeastern. Didn't Dr. Winston Green
Yes, one
win
small.
by 11
Very small.
over by the same Dr. Norman Dunn
Yes.
before? So this is interesting. We'll also head to a magisterial recount, but on the night, each of them having the 49.9%, but just split by 11 votes.
All right, we're still stuck on this, but just to remind our listeners as well, the count that takes place on election night is a preliminary count. Now, after tonight, then we will have what is called the final count. At the end of the final count, the parties then have the opportunity or the chance, if they wish to apply for what is called a magisterial recount, which a parish judge would do. Normally you do that when you have a very, very small margin, and I was saying a little bit earlier on in the evening, a margin of 200 votes or 100 might sound like a very small margin, but you're not going to get that overturned in the magisterial recount. That is when now the parties are going to scrutinize, and the judge would scrutinize every single ballot, and you start to get arguing over where this X was marked, and if this ballot was invalid, and if this one was discarded and should not have been discarded. So there is a process that is going to be put in train as soon as tonight's preliminary counts are over. Here we have Trelawney Southern now, box 44 of 96, Marissa Dalrymple Philibert with 2,823 votes, and the PNP's candidate Paul Patmore, 2,608 votes. Just a reminder for our viewers, for our listeners, you'll hear me, all of us, we are here reading out the counts. That is because we are live on not just radio, but also not just TV, not just the internet, but also radio. So we are accommodating our radio listeners as well. And we thank you all so much for being here with us, wherever it is in the world you are joining us from. We know we have a huge following in the diaspora. We're happy to have you here with us as well. So that one, that still looks like only about 50% gone there. And I know we had heard that Paul Patmore was
likely to do well.
Yes, but we'll see what happens when the final numbers come in there. So I would ask you, Earl, is there anything that has surprised you so far?
No, I expected it to be very close, and therefore I'm not surprised at how close it has turned out to be. I think for many persons, the fact that with 18 boxes left in West Central St. Andrew, that the Prime Minister is, at least by what we have seen, trailing at the moment. But there are still 18 boxes to go, so he could very well, bring it home still.
One of the things our listeners and viewers will have heard throughout the night is you will hear one of the panelists saying something like, it depends where the boxes are coming from. So in other words, you might have one candidate leading in a particular constituency, but if the boxes left to come in are coming from a stronghold of the other party, then you could see that result turn inside out. And that's basically what it is we're kind of seeing happening throughout the night. Sometimes you see the seesawing of the votes going between the two candidates. A lot of the times that's what's taking place. Okay, so now the issue in relation to what happens as soon as this is over, as we've said, the party that is declared the victor, we're going to be declared the victor. We're going to expect to hear, because of course, viewers and listeners, we are going to be with you until the end. So we are going to be waiting to hear whoever gives their victory speech, whoever gives their concession speech. And we were talking the other night, Earl, about a night, in fact, when there was no concession speech.
Yes, and that was 2007. I think it was 2007. It was that close, and the Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller did not concede that night. They were awaiting some recounts, but by the next day it was clear that the JLP had won.
So they all actually prepare two speeches. They you have to have two speeches, or people just come out and talk.
I wouldn't know, but I'm sure that the leader of the Labour Party would have prepared one speech, because from the get-go it was clear that Jamaicans would choose Jamaica. and we're seeing it tonight.
Okay, you never stop. You don't stop. You don't stop. Flip up, come.
Just curious, are they choosing Jamaica? Because from what I'm seeing, the biggest guy gain massive ground in this election. Regardless of who becomes the prime minister. I think that's one of the things we should tap on the shoulder.
This is a sport. Right? This is a sport. You have to have a winner, you have to have a loser. Tonight, you're the loser.
And clearly, the most honorable Andrew Holness would not be the winner in this situation. Well,
Of course, you didn't live up to the picture.
St. Anne Southwest declared for Xavier Main, and we previously declared the previous seat, which kind of went fast. Crystal Lee,
And Nishko.
right, declared for, there we go, declared for Crystal Lee of the Jamaica Labour Party, 8,050 votes to 7,488 for Gabriella Morris of the People's National Party. Gabriella Morris had been a senator, throwing her hat here into the representational ring. So this up short this time around.
This means there's no change at all in St. Anne. The PNP went in with Southeast, which is their bastion. They held that. This is Lisa Hannah's seat from the Mullins' old seat, crucial to the PNP base. Northeast St. Anne, which is Shahini Robinson's old seat, has been held by Maki Samuda. St. Anne Northwest, Crystal Lee won that in 2020 and she has retained it, fought off the challenge by Gabriella Morris. And then St. Anne Southwest, that's the Xavier Main seat that he has also held, that particular one. So there's no change between 2020 and 2025 in St. Anne.
So here's a question now. So let's assume, just for argument's sake, for the moment, that the trend does hold. The JLP takes the election. What does this mean, first of all, for Mark Golding as leader of the PNP?
For him to have taken the PNP from the position in which he succeeded to the leadership, to them coming so close to winning this election, unless he volunteers to go, I think the PNP would have to think very carefully whether they would want to have another disruption in the party's cohesion about the leadership. But that's for him and the party to decide, I suppose.
Yeah. Emily?
Yeah, there are a couple ways that I will look at this. I keep saying that 2020 was an electoral anomaly. It still is in many respects. So that what has emerged from 2020 is that the people are willing to re-elect a very hard-working member of parliament, even if that member of parliament started out as an anomaly in 2020, but they've continued to doing good work. So I say this, so I believe Rhoda Moore Crawford, I believe Crystal Lee, and Tova Hamilton, who had some issues, she has clearly rebalanced them, and perhaps it is setting a new sort of trend. If we look at it that way, then perhaps for Mark Golding and the PNP, they shouldn't be so swift to seek to discard him, because they're coming from a point where Dr. Peter Phillips was perhaps deemed to be an individual who could not take the PNP to where the PNP is at this time.
A lot of people hadn't thought Golding would be able to cross the line at all.
Right.
Can I just jump in on you and say that I'm hearing that the official voter turnout has come in at 38.8%, which is bad.
That is 1% above the COVID years.
Yes.
And I certainly, based on the crowds I saw and the anticipation, I thought we were heading to a 55% voter turnout. So I don't know what has gone wrong, why so many people have not, but that is something we said we should study again, as we said at the start of the program.
May I take you back to the question of Mark Golding's future in the PNP as leader? We have got to the point now where, so he's 60 this year. If they go to the full term, this incoming administration, he would then be 65. I think more and more voters are not looking too kindly in the Jamaican context at someone taking the reins of government heading towards 70. And I think that might, despite what I said earlier, it may be one of the things that they will consider when deciding whether to stick with the leader or seek a younger person to take them forward.
We're going back to EOJ now with Kalisha.
Thank you so much, Dion. So we're almost there. 99% of all the boxes counted. And what I'm seeing behind me, the latest figure, just refreshed, the People's National Party leading in 30 constituencies, the Jamaica Labour Party leading in 33. Now, I'm going to tell you the areas where we're still waiting on all the boxes to be completed. St. Andrew West Central, 83%. The People's National Party leading in that area. Going down now to St. Andrew East Rural, the St. Andrew East Rural, where the Jamaica Labour Party is leading in that constituency. Trelawney Southern, 78% of all boxes counted, and the Jamaica Labour Party is leading in that constituency. Moving over now to Clarendon Northern, 97% of all the boxes counted, and we're seeing where the Jamaica Labour Party, is trailing in that constituency in Clarendon Northern. We're going down well. I think that is it in terms of the progress report for all the constituencies so far. So we're waiting just on a few more constituencies to go. We're seeing where Trelawney Southern, that's the one where we're having only 70%, just over 70% of all the boxes counted in that constituency as well, Dion. So, well, we're seeing another change, Dion. I tell you, the things can change quite quickly here at the ECJ. I'm seeing now where the Jamaica Labour Party is leading in 34 constituencies, and the People's National Party is leading in 29 constituencies. And as I said, we're almost at the finish line. It's back to you.
Thank you so much, Kalisha. Great work that you have been doing for us throughout the night. And as you're saying, they just about an inch there from the finish line. So the whole issue now, in terms of the extremely close seats, I think it's 2 we've seen.
Yes, 2 so far.
Yeah.
The Central Kingston and the Southeast St. Mary. Which is, I mean, there have been elections where we've seen quite a few more that have been very, very close. But we were talking there about the voter turnout because, again, this suggests that neither party is exciting the electorate beyond your narrow base. If we can't even get to 4 out of 10 registered voters deciding to come out to vote. So I'm not sure where that leaves us or where we're going with this project we call democracy.
By the way, despite all that has been said tonight about the individual performances of MPs, one wonders what impact the last-minute promises in terms of various forms of tax relief, etc., might have had on the votes in some of these constituencies where, somebody's decision to go, for example, for the promise of minimum wage increase, or go for the pension, or go for the 3.5.
Because one of the things I've been saying, in fact, is that the polling numbers that we have been getting, when I looked at the dates that the pollsters were in the field, so many things happened after that.
So it wasn't tracking with those.
Yeah, in terms of debates, in terms of the announcement, in terms of the, even the manifestos in some cases being released and what was happening. So I always felt that those polling numbers weren't going to give us a really indicative sense, but as Don said, his polls had indicated that we were going to see a close election, and indeed we've seen that. Yeah. And I think there's been a lot of attempts to try and discredit the RGR Gina Dunn and some polls, and I think what we're seeing here from this election is that they were tracking.
Yeah, but it was always going to be a close election in my view. And I think the context is so important. This is the first time ever that a Jamaica Labour Party government is facing the possibility of a third term in office. And on top of that, all of the challenges.
Hold on, Emily. Here's an update. 93 boxes of 105 in the Prime Minister's constituency. He's now ahead here. 5,387 votes to Paul Buchanan of the PNP, 4,904. The 93 boxes, so that is 5 and 7, which is 12 boxes left to count.
Disciples. No, I can visualize Desmond McKenzie wiping the Prime Minister's face with the change in the set, because that must have been a moment. Paul Buchanan did say he's going to unseat Andrew Holness, and he has come pretty close, but things are changing. Yeah, Trelawney South, I think we had a look at that before.
Declared.
No, it's declared.
Yes.
So it has reverted to the norm.
That was
in terms of expectations.
That is Marissa Dalrymple Philibert. She walked out the parliament, she resigned, she went back, she won the seat in a by-election. They call her Mama down there for good reasons, Mama D, and she's back.
She has delivered once again.
But I'm saying the context of this election is that it's an historical first for the JLP, and there is a third term syndrome. As we look at West Central, St. James, where Marlene Malibu Fort is leading with 91 of 106 boxes there. She's leading Dr. Andre Horton, 5,157 to 4,710 for Andre. So you're battling that third term syndrome, and for all of the kitchen sink and so forth that has been thrown at Andrew Holness and the Jamaica Labour Party, one really shouldn't be able to recover from that and to even win a third term with all of those conditions prevailing. So I think when the history books are written, there are a lot of pluses that have to go to the JLP, a lot of pluses too to Mark Golding for bringing back the PNP from near virtual electoral dead to making them reclaim some of the seats that they lost in 2020.
I think we're seeing live pictures here of the JLP headquarters.
Yes.
So we're waiting to go back to the headquarters and to hear what's happening. Of course, as soon as the various leaders are ready to speak, we'll have that live for you as well.
And by the way, if indeed the turnout for this election is only 1% above 2020, it also says something about the significance of the PNP's move from 14 seats last time to 29 or thereabouts this time. It would seem, therefore, that the PNP has recovered a significant portion of the vote.
Because when you look at the numbers, between 2016 and 2020, yes, the voting was down and people are saying COVID and so on. But when you looked at the actual numbers, the PNP had lost 127,000 voters and JLP had lost only about 28,000. And as I mentioned, there were some constituencies in which the JLP actually managed to increase its vote count. Is this the same number?
No, it has gone up.
97 votes, 97 boxes here out of 105. Andrew Holness of the JLP, 5,989. For the Canon of the PNP, 4,923.
Right. And I think a story will have to be told as well about this comeuppance with the 3rd of September. Because it was the 3rd of September 2007.
Yes.
3rd of September 16?
16, yes.
2020 rather.
20.
And now the 3rd of September 2025, which is the first.
And we get ourselves into a cycle where every 3rd of September
is probably, we're talking fixed election day, but it will be the 3/3 of September for the first third term for the GOP.
Just to say, this seat has now been declared for Prime Minister Andrew.
As expected.
You did say that.
As expected.
Mr. Buchanan, very good run, Paul Buchanan. You did promise you'd beat Andrew Holness, and you came pretty close to that, because I didn't even look at West Central in my calculation because I thought it was a done deal. But he's done well. Yeah?
Therefore, they're ready to concede it. There has to be a
I think regardless of who becomes the Prime Minister, who walks into Government House as government, the PNP has done amazing tonight in many different ways. Coming from where we were with 14, with our broken base, the part that was in ruins. I think Mark Golding and Dayton Campbell has done well in bringing back the party and has represented what the PNP is to the Jamaican people. And has sold the PNP to many people as well. Because as I said before, the whole country in general has signaled that they want some sort of change. Whether it is from the MP level or whether it's from the national level, they want to see some sort of change.
But still with only 38% of the vote.
There are universal accounts for that, like the mishap with today and the growing trend of voter apathy. But in general, people want to see some level of change.
I think what the Jamaican people want is to continue with the Labour Party. When you look at what has happened since 2016 until...
Sorry, hold on. The voter turnout doesn't support that. Because what you have is, the max, 62% of registered voters who never came out at all. Right. So that's it's 3 out of 4 registered voters came out. 6 out of 10 didn't come out. Now, when I did the math in 2020, when we had about the same voter turnout, when you actually looked at how many people had voted for the party in power, which is a JLP, it was actually only 20% of registered voters. So because the voter turnout is so low, you're essentially a minority government in terms of support from the voting public as a whole. So it's one thing to say, yes, we won, but surely it must be sobering. So that's why I'm taking issue with you saying this is what the people wanted, because in fact it's a minority who have put you into power. I know it's winner takes all and first past the post.
Yeah, I agree, but at the same time, it is the persons who come out to vote. Yes, so what we have...
No, stop right there. That's the point, you know. Listen to what you just said. The persons who came out to vote, most people didn't. So what that means is that most people didn't want either of you. So what does that say about how you relate to them and how you relate to the country?
And that's where I'm going. Okay. I think that is what we have to do as political parties. You know, we have to engage. We have to find new strategies to engage the Jamaican people. And that is something that we, as political parties in the country, have to start to look at, because it cannot continue at 37.
Were you always a JLP supporter?
Yeah, well, from the time I started following politics, I became a JLP supporter because I vote based on policies and not family lines and traditions. I'm not a die-hearted company or a die-hearted JLP. I vote based on policies and the history of Jamaica's politics as well. So the JLP has always been better in terms of managing the economy. The JLP is founded out of a need to support the working class. I am a working class. I'm looking forward to climb that corporate ladder. And the JLP has statistically in history done better for working class and for the economy. So I had to support the JLP.
I just very quick to the floor because we got so excited to talk. I forget to have your name and which constituency you voted in.
So my name is Ramon Bradshaw and I voted in Eastern Section. It's not PNP fair fee, but I still exercise my right to vote.
Thank you so much. And
me just go back to the voter turnout issue and give our listeners and our viewers a sense of where we're coming from. Just to remind you, you're watching TVJ's live coverage of the 2025 general election. I'm Dion Jackson Miller. Thank you all so much for staying with us across the platforms, on radio, on TV, on YouTube, on onespotmedia.com. Those of you here at home and those of you abroad, we are happy to have had you, and we hope you continue to us. We're taking you right till the end of tonight. All right, so if we just look at the later years, because we know, earlier and all kind of things that go on. So if we look at from 96, let's choose 97, that was a 65% voter turnout, right? 2002, we were down to 59%. 2007 was 61. 2011, we're at 53%. 2016, as I said, the first year we fell below 50% with 48%, and 2020, 35%, and now 2025, 38% voter turnout. Only 4 in every 10 registered voters bothering to come out and vote. Emily was saying something before we pause, saying she's not sure what else we can do. But Emily, my view has always been, I have never thought that the two major parties have seriously tried to attract anybody other than their base. When you even look at the campaigning, what is the campaigning? It's only the point in orange and green and make noise on the campaign trail. It's fun to watch. It really is. But for people who are not inclined to join in the carnival and the singing of the songs and whatever and want serious engagement, what's that?
Carnival of the absurd.
For people who are not looking for that, I have not seen either party making any serious attempt to pull in everybody else.
But let me try and respond to it. I don't know the answer to all of that, but the numbers can't be quoted in a vacuum. When we were at 1997 with 65.22%, there was 1.1 million voters on the list. In 2002 with 59.4, there was 1.3 million. In 2007 with 61.4, there was 1.336 million. For whatever reason, in 2016, we jumped to 1.8 million people on this voters list. 1.8 million in a population of approximately 3 million. And in September 2020, we're at 1.9. This election, we're at 2.07. Where so much people come from on the list when we have 3 million people in Jamaica? Is the list completely clean of dead people? And are there dead people on the list who can't make it? And so the voter turnout will never be larger than it is because we have a ballooning list for hundreds of thousands of people that we need to double check. I don't understand it. And the reason I'm asking this question tonight is because I have been watching elections since 1980. This is the first election. I'm seeing such fervor and energy. Every man and them dog. Every animal in the house energized.
Hold the man and the dog for me. Let's just go to the break. Told the updated voter turnout figure, 39.33%. 39.33%. And we're back right after this.
Wow, your favorite Sunshine granola is now in a convenient resealable pouch. Zero's got the granola you know and love in a bright new bag. Crunchy clusters of whole oats and sunflower seeds in 4 delicious varieties. Crisp rice, juicy raisins and cranberries, cornflakes and peanuts, and wheat flakes and cinnamon. Enjoy some now, reseal, then come back later for more crunchy goodness. Sunshine Zeros, your favorite granola.
In need of a loan? Aim Financial is the place to go. We have loans from $20,000 to $3.3 million. Get a loan to pay school or college tuition, medical expenses, bills, fix up your house, buy furniture and appliances, repair or buy a car. And when you're done, take a vacation. AIM has a loan for any purpose. Call in today. You won't find a better deal elsewhere. Guaranteed.
I'm Peter McConnell, CEO of Trade Secret. I'm here with my production team making our newest product, True Milk.
True Milk is made with 100% cow's milk from their own homegrown, naturally fed,
Production team!
processed and pasteurized at their state-of-the-art factory in Bumbong. True Milk is 100% cow's milk with no additives. True Milk is the real deal. Take it from the experts.
Move up to the best milk ever. True Milk, truly the best.
Steve, look at me. Here. On them score stuff. Let's get it on. Oh, idiot defense. I'm gonna have to be like some plastic Jamaica. Oh, miss.
Hey, lover boy.
Let's get it on. Let's get it
Strong back gets you in the game.
Yup, and it keeps you scoring. It's for real, man. Strong back.
Strong Back is available at your favorite supermarkets and the gas stations island-wide. Distributed by Facey Commodity Limited. Call them at 923-9221.
Strong back.
Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. The rest, no contest is the best mix, so we feeling best. Best value to how you're feeling. We got cheesy, zoomers, caramel punch, potato chips, but come and get it, yeah. Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. The rest, no contest is the best mix, so we feeling best.
Enjoy Sunshine Snacks Combo Pack. Best mix, best value.
Best feeling best.
At Flow, loyalty pays back. We're rewarding our customers with $20,000 in groceries for only $2,700 plus GCT. Simply add postpaid mobile to your current internet plan and claim your $20,000 supermarket card today. That's how we keep your rhythm flowing. Conditions apply.
Your pot of bubble, my friend. It smell like expensive dinner.
Expensive what? Me have to give my family the best. And Nation Slice always give me the best value for my money. Top quality meat, frozen veg, seafood and processed meats at affordable prices. Them have sliced fish, shrimp, beef, jerk and bacon burger.
And then me here say import and supply meat in every nook and cranny of Jamaica.
Yes, my friend. You can get salt mackerel, pigtail or sliced ham.
Nation's choice, always your best value.
This is Mark. He's saving to make sure that this one doesn't have to worry about student loans. This is Tevin. He's saving to make sure that next year he can live by his own rules. And this is Janelle. She's saving to make sure that the girls' trip to Greece makes it out of the group chat. They all have one thing in common. Their JN Bank savings. Saving little by little is what makes life affordable. Stop wishing you could. With your JN Bank savings, you absolutely can. JN Bank will help you find a way.
Every child deserves a home filled with love. When hope meets heart, a new journey begins.
Welcome home, David.
Welcome, David.
Make it your own.
Family is built on moments shared.
Go, David, yes!
Every smile and every shared moment connects us with a brighter future. Here, you're not just welcomed, you're family. Foster hope, foster love, foster a child today. Contact the CPF today for more information.
Hey, truck, how those Duracell Optimum batteries working out? Whoa, now that is serious power. Try Duracell Optimum, our next generation of power.
Another quality product from the Caramel Group Consumer Division.
We
love our country. Like you, we take pride in building Jamaica. The resilience of our people is cemented in our products, built to last for generations. Laying the foundation for thriving communities, we're committed to excellence and quality. Quality products, quality relationships. We're all proud Jamaicans, working hard, doing good, building a sustainable future for all. That same unbeatable spirit runs through us. We are ARC Manufacturing, made of Jamaica.
Achieve academic success. Register now for your CXC classes at School of Excellence. Features include free CXC subjects. Do 3 or more CXC subjects and obtain 1 other subject free. Air-conditioned, clean, spacious classrooms. Registered with the Ministry of Education. School of Excellence also offers practical nursing, early childhood education with free CXC subjects. Call or visit School of Excellence, 3 Balmoral Avenue, telephone 929-5830. School of Excellence, 56 Main Street, Santa Cruz. Telephone 966-4431.
The entire Jamaica is heading to Cars Auto.
Yeah. I'm Mr. Reggae Ambassador. Hi, we're Third World. If you're looking to buy a car, the best deal by far is Cars Auto. See what we're there, yeah?
The premier car mart with the widest range of cars, buses, and SUVs with the lowest prices guaranteed. Well, Sunset Boulevard, Montego Bay, 979-1147, or visit us on the web at cars2carsauto.com.
Okay, so you're watching there a live feed from PNP headquarters. You can see that the president of the PNP, Mark Jefferson Golding, is getting ready to speak. As soon as he starts to speak, we'll go back. Let me just remind you, you're watching TVJ's live coverage of the 2025 elections. And with me all night, I've had from the RJR Galena Group, Emily Shields, as well as Earl Moxham. And with us as well from the PNP YO, we've had Clifford James and Ron Walsh from Young Jamaica, the affiliate. Let's go over to PNP headquarters.
Comrade General Secretary, comrade officers, all the comrades on the platform, all the comrades in the audience, all the people of Jamaica who are listening, watching. First of all, I think it is my duty as a believer in democracy to acknowledge and concede the result and to congratulate our opponents, the Jamaica Labour Party, for their victory tonight. Jamaica's democracy is important and we must cherish it. Sometimes it brings bitter disappointments. Sometimes those disappointments are laced with a tinge of a sense that not all is fair and just, but it is very, very important that we put democracy ahead of all of those feelings. And I accept the result of these elections, and although obviously I'm very disappointed in the outcome, I think it is only correct to expressly acknowledge the success that our opponents have managed to gain today. I want to thank a lot of people And first of all, I have to thank the comrades and supporters of South St. Andrew for standing with me, for coming out today in their numbers, and for giving us a decisive victory in the constituency, which I have the honor to serve. I also want to thank our campaign team, led by our campaign director, our General Secretary, Dayton Campbell, Dr. Dayton Campbell. Also, a newly minted Member of Parliament. Congratulations to him on his victory in East and Westmoreland. And all the other members of the campaign team who worked with him. There are a number of names there. I don't want to attempt to go through all those names because I'm going to probably forget somebody and then I'll regret it. But they have done a tremendous job. The communications team, I want to thank them publicly for the work they have done. And that is a night and day kind of job. It starts very early in the morning and goes on till late at night. So their commitment to the task at hand is remarkable, and I want to thank them deeply for it. All of our candidates who ran in this election and their campaign teams, I want to thank them for their effort, for their commitment to the country, to the democratic process. I want to, of course, congratulate the 29 who have been successful tonight. And we have more than doubled our number of MPs tonight. And for those who were not first and didn't, they still committed themselves extremely well. And I want to say that this was a wonderful demonstration of the maturity of Jamaica's political process, that we could go through such a closely fought election without any violence to speak of. And, we must all give ourselves a round of applause. In our homes, you're listening, here at the KK headquarters, because that was not always the case. And I want to just thank all of the pioneers who led that process to where it is today, where I think we can safely say that Jamaica is a place that really cherishes and respects the democracy that we have built. I want to thank the people of Jamaica for having received us so well and having given us hundreds of thousands of votes and given us 29 seats. We don't take that for granted. We thank you for your time today. I know the voting was often painfully slow, and that's an issue which more will have to be said about, because it's an undemocratic situation when people, elderly and other people, have to be in the hot sun lining up to vote for sometimes hours. And it should not be that way. We should do better, and we have to do better. I must tell you that I'm proud of the platform that we put forward for the people of Jamaica. It was a truly progressive platform, a platform that offered a radical reform to the land tenure issues that have plagued this country for centuries. A radical platform that would have enhanced the standard of living and quality of life of those working families that are struggling to survive now by giving them significantly lower tax burdens on their income. Progressive in a social justice sense as well, around issues such as beach reform, contract work, and other things which really need to be addressed because there are injustices in our society which cannot be tolerated and should be modified and rejected in their current form. So I just want to thank all of the team. National Party, I'm happy to tell you, is alive and well as a powerful political organization. And has embraced modernity in its methods and has definitely, I think, over the last few years, come a long way towards being a competitive political force in Jamaica. And as the General Secretary said, the work begins right away to prepare ourselves for the next opportunity to offer ourselves to serve the nation in government. And I believe the people will, in due course, give us that chance. Ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, the word is love. Power to the people. God bless you all. Thank you for your support.
Listening there to the president of the People's National Party, Mark Golding, giving his concession speech. The final seat count, 34 seats to the Jamaica Labour Party, 29. You know, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that in case I mislead anyone. Just to remind everybody that what has been done tonight is a preliminary count. So the seat count at the end of the preliminary count is 34 for the Jamaica Labour Party, 29 for the People's National Party. The final count is going to take place, and then we're expecting, certainly in at least those two constituencies in which we saw razor-thin margins of about 11 and 12 votes, we are expecting those to go to Manchester recount, and then we'll see what happens after that. We are seeing on screen the Prime Minister at JLP headquarters, seeing there a jubilant Desmond McKenzie on the mic as well, seeing Delroy Chuck, and we will be handing over to the JLP headquarters soon as well. Babsy Grange, and you can...
Horace Chang.
Horace Chang, I saw coming now, Johnson Smith there as well, and yeah.
And we're witnessing for the first time in contested elections a Jamaica Labour Party government that is having a third term. They had 2 terms between 1980 and 1983 was uncontested, and they faced the possibility of a third term in 1989, but 83 being uncontested. This is the first contested third consecutive term that they have won, and this says something about the organization as well, with all of the challenges that this particular man had, and all that he was made to answer for, some of which will continue after this election, and no doubt intensify because of the increased numbers on the opposition benches in the House of Parliament. So it does promise to be an interesting parliamentary year.
There's something else very interesting to the Andrew Holness story. In addition to getting a third successive term as Prime Minister, he also had that very small term from October 23, 2011 to... No, actually to the 5th of January when he handed off to Porter Simpson Miller.
Just to remind our listeners and viewers, what Earl is referring to there is the fact that Bruce Golding, former Prime Minister, stepped down as Prime Minister. Andrew Holness was elected Prime Minister by his colleagues in Parliament.
By agreement, yes.
Yes, yes, I was trying to find the right word. Thank you so much, Emily. By his colleagues in Parliament, and on that occasion, he gave in to the call from the People's National Party to call an early election, which he lost. But he certainly, in the meantime, regrouped.
Yeah.
And you could see his political growth during that time in opposition.
And had he not survived that challenge in 2013, he would have gone into obscurity.
Yes. That's what I was getting to, because, you know, leader...
Sorry, challenge, remember...
Challenge internal from Audishaw.
Yes. Leader got the party just after the Mr. Golden stepped aside, and of course there was some chaos inside the political movement. He navigated those difficult times, but not only that, he has really structured and organized this political party into a modern political party. 2013, challenge for leadership. 2016, won the election. 2020, massive landslide victory, right? 2025, again,
Andrew Holness has led the Jamaica Labour Party to yet another election.
Okay, I know Clifford, we need to bring in Clifford, but before that, let me go back to Janello to show us what Gordon House will now be looking like.
Thank you so much, Dion. Well, when we started this broadcast, in fact, leading up to today's election, it was 49-14, but after the ballots have been counted, it is 34-29. Now, will Gordon House continue to look like this after the magisterial recount? Well, we will just have to wait and see, Dion. Until then, it's back to you.
Thank you so much, Janella. As we've been saying, one thing is for sure, we're seeing a much more balanced parliament and likely to be all the better for it. Clifford, your comment on listening to Mark Golding there.
I think though we may have lost, I think a lot should be credited to him and Dayton Campbell. We have brought back what the PNP was, a unified party, a strong party, a competitive party there in the elections. So I think there's a lot to tap on our shoulders. We moved from 14 to now 29 seats. That's a lot to do in less than a short span of time, especially coming out of a very serious leadership challenge. And many things mounted against it. I mean, especially multiple seats where we have past members who are going against current PNP challenges in these seats as well. So I think there's a lot to be glad for as a comrade myself, but there's a lot of work to be done, but I don't think we're in a bad position now. We may not have formed the government, but I think we're in a good place. I think what the party should do now is not to go back to where it was in that 2016 time after we had lost then. I think now we should work on where we're at and just move forward.
Well, the party hasn't shown that it can manage leadership challenges very well, though. I mean, the last is what, 3? Just ripped you apart.
That's something I hope we have learned. And I'm now going to apply, a different metric of how we take on successions, if any is even required at this point in time.
Okay. But you feel how?
Is that I feel?
How you feel?
Currently now?
Yeah.
I feel good. We have moved from 14 to 29 seats.
Okay. Mr. Golding's concession speech, Earl, is always something that's important.
Very important. I think he struck some right notes. It was a bruising campaign, and hard words were exchanged, and so I think it will take time for some sort of cooling of some of the feelings between the two parties and the two leaders. But he did what was expected of him under these circumstances, and it is in keeping with Jamaica's democratic traditions that we do that. In fact, we have done better than the United States sometimes in that respect.
All right, so we're still waiting to join the Prime Minister to hear his victory speech, but let's go to another break. We'll soon come.
When sunshine is the best for you, nature's best one for crunchy.